Alright, are we good now? We should be good now. Are we good? Okay, sorry. The mic settings, because we had the LAN party, I had to change the audio channels and stuff like that. This still isn't what I want, but we might be able to go with the NZXT Capsule today. So normally I like to stream with a wireless receiver and a wireless mic, so that if I go to that side of the room or something, you know, you guys can still hear me just fine. But this thing is not wanting to cooperate today. Like, it is not wanting to pick up or OBS doesn't want to pick it up. This mic works fine. I was just using it with my camera, but OBS is finicky sometimes. But what up, everybody? How's it going? While I try to get that mic figured out, once it does pop in, if it does, or we might just go with the NZXT mic, desktop mic the whole time. But yeah, let's get the show going. So we got Shauner in the house, first in the landscape stream, and we got Staying 2007 over on the vertical stream first. What's up, y'all? We got Giant Robots. Shauner is building an i7 8700 and GTX 1070 build for less than 200. Some of those parts were hand-me-downs, but still, it's going to be a good profit for a flip once he gets that out the door. We got Avery in the house. Would a 1070 still be considered a good gaming card? I like the 1070 at its price, which around my area, there was a couple listed for 60 bucks the other day. I messaged the buyer, or not the buyer, I messaged the seller, and they ended up saying, yeah, it's available. And then I said, cool, can I come pick it up? Then the next message they sent me was, sorry, someone else is coming to pick both of them up, because they had two for sale. So I missed out on $60 1070s, but in my area, anywhere from like 70 to 80 is a pretty common price. I like it at that price. It's good performance. You can still get 1080p gaming in. You know, you play all your esports titles as well as play some of the newest titles on like lower settings. But come on, what can you ask for when you're spending sub $100 on a graphics card? Let's see, we got KL130 in the house. What's up? What up, Craig Lilly? We got Moody. We got Big Tone 9800. Pika Wubbed in the house. 21B Talks, and over on the short side, Staying still over there, holding it down. Smizzle YouTube. Andrew Kim, what's up? Hello. Cami Karma. I honestly thought you were in a phone call. No. Actually, let me switch mics, because there's a left and a right channel. Let me see if this one automatic somehow makes it work. Yeah, I usually use mic 1, not mic 2. So, if that works, then we're good. If not, I am going through a hub. Let me also switch this out. I bet you this is gonna work now. I just hope it doesn't double up on the audio once it does get picked up. Coalition Gaming Chris is here in traffic. If you guys are just getting off of work, hopefully I can keep you entertained while you're on your long commute in traffic. Live from New York, it's... Wait, what up, Robert Fixit? How you doing? YXTT. Hello. How much was a 1070 during COVID times? Ooh. Let me think back. I picked up a 1070 during COVID times, but I got a good deal on it. I have a video where I built a PC for my friend, Meg. I got a whole bundle deal, like I got a 1070, a Ryzen 1700, motherboard, stuff like that. But I think they were floating around 250. Can anyone correct me on that or not? I don't think there's, unless we went to like Reddit hardware swap and checked like you know, 2020 21 posts or something. But I think 250 sounds about right during like the peak shortage during COVID. But people are saying 300-ish. You paid 110 right before, or before shipping, 125 for your sister's 1070 right before a shortage, like a week or two before. Okay. I sold my 1070 in 2022. Yeah, because the shortages and then the second, like the resurgence of mining and stuff too. The whole COVID with the resurgence of mining and cryptocurrencies was like a really bad time. Like back in, what was it, 2017, 18-ish time frame, when there were like the multiple crypto surges. That by itself was already bad, and then COVID by itself was bad, and then we experienced both COVID shortages and the crypto compounding at one point, and that was the worst, literally the worst. Worst I got burned was a 3070 Ti for, wait, $1,100? Sean, who is, oops, let me move this. 3070 Ti, 1100. Does that sound about right? COVID was such an interesting time period because, especially if you started working from home and things like that, days just like melted together. Weeks, months, even like a year went by and you didn't even really grasp the concept of time because the lockdowns caused people's like travel plans to be canceled, lots of events. We postponed our wedding, my wife and I. So like things, big life events that you usually keep track of the years and stuff by, you know, traveling, seeing other people, things like that. All that got wiped out. You were stuck at home for a large majority of the time, and everything just meshed together. But 3070 Ti for 1100, that sounds a bit pricey, but I'm trying to think back. There's so many different periods of dramatic price changes that this definitely does not sound too outlandish. It was the Aorus card with the screen on it. Okay, so it was a more premium card too. Got it. It was an insane time. Indeed it was, Kami Karma. Firestorm, what up? I seem to remember buying a 3060 from a friend for like 600 to 700 in 2022. Yeah, I remember the 3060s being up to 500 to 600. Also have a video, because the Cockroach PC repair video that I did, we ended up putting a 3060 in it, and it was definitely like in the $500, $600 range, which is crazy. Zach said he bought, yeah. Not only that, but because I remember I was in a raffle for a 3060. Let me look up how much I paid for that RTX 3060 invoice. Because at one point in time, it was so bad due to the shortages and crypto bros trying to pick up all the cards that yeah, oh my god, let me post this. Here we go. And this was in 2021. So let me post this to so we go over to this browser scene. Yeah, so this is an invoice from what day was this? May 2021. This wasn't even just like an open purchasable thing, right? I had to click on the Newegg Shuffle or whatever the heck they called that raffle at the time, get picked, and then you had like a certain window of time where you could purchase the card before it moved on to somebody else. And this was for my brother-in-law's PC. We paid from Newegg, not a scalper. It wasn't a third-party seller. Newegg themselves sold the 3060 for $530, and this was the MSI gaming one, so not like a... Yeah, because the MSI Ventus is like the lower tier one. This is like the mid-tier one, not the super top tier, but like a mid-tier MSI card. $530 from a non-scalper. So I can imagine what like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Craigslist was. I remember some of them being ridiculous. It was crazy. Hey, what up? We got Tech by Matt in the house. In June of 2021, 1070s were going for $450. Dang. How do you remember that, Matt? Did you have like a specific video covering that? I mean, I definitely covered the graphics card prices during the pandemic and, you know, the first year or two. I just have a horrible memory, so unless there was like a video that sticks out in my mind, I can't remember. But $450 for 1070s, I mean, I would believe it. And online was definitely an okay option at the time. But again, like when this happened, even the e-tailers got hit with the price increases. It was bad. It was so bad. I got my For the Win 3 3080 for $950 at Micro Center April 2022, and that's 2 years after the pandemic opened. Like when did everything start opening up again? Like pretty much across the country. Because I know, like, depending on where you live, some states and cities had mask mandates and, like, you know, social distancing for like a longer period of time. But I forget, even because now we're in 2024. Let's see, so 2020 March April timeframe was when it got really bad. For a whole year, I feel like it started loosening up around the end of 2021, early 2022. But I mean, that definitely did not, the supply chain and like shortages and stuff, that had a longer term effect than just when cities and stuff started opening up. But yeah. Tech by Matt says, I remember selling one to a friend on Twatter. Let's just pretend that was not a typo, because Twatter really is a hellhole now. But for $200 and have a DM showing the current price going back, then I just checked. Okay, gotcha, Matt. I was offered $800 for my 2070 Super. I passed because I knew I'd have to spend that much at minimum for something to replace it. Good lord, $530 for a 3060 12GB. I'm kind of glad I was content with my low spec 1660 Ti and 4790, even though it always processor bottleneck, but I had no idea about that concept at the time. Yeah, the thing about bottlenecking is, if you're getting the frame rates that you want, then I don't think it's that big of an issue. I've said this so many times before in videos and streams and stuff like that. Like, you're always gonna have a bottleneck. It just depends on which demanding game you're playing at the time, if it leverages the CPU or GPU more. But so long as you're not stuttering, right? You're not just like, the game's not hitting like every split second or so, and you're getting like good frame rates, leaving performance on the table, sure, whatever, you always want to improve that, but not everyone can always improve all their components at once. When people start upgrading and they're on a limited budget, sometimes you want to just go for, alright, what's the best thing I can upgrade to uplift my performance? Both my CPU and GPU are from the same era, but I only have enough money to upgrade one. So if I upgrade the graphics card, your old CPU is going to become the new bottleneck. But it doesn't mean you're not going to get an uplift in performance, and it doesn't mean that, your computer's going to blow up or something like that. Like, people stress about bottlenecks way too much. Like, so long as it's not crazy bad and you're getting decent performance, it's not a big deal. Sino Moon says, I have a 4060 brand new less than a month ago. Ooh, okay, so I'm okay with people buying 4060s. The people buying 4060s are usually the ones who aren't comfortable with the used market, because obviously you can buy like a 3070 or something for the same price, or even cheaper for better performance. But not everybody's okay with the used market. So if you look at new cards, the 4060, I don't even remember what are let's just go on Amazon, for example, right? If someone wanted to buy a 3060, how much is that going to cost? That's $284, $9, so $300. There's some cheaper ones actually. $260. Okay, $240, $260, $240, and then 4060. You can get it for as low as $300, $270, $284. $284 is the lowest one. $294. So you're paying like $20 to $30 extra for a 4060. Which is a gen newer. You get more of the newer features that are locked only to 40 series. Like, I still stand by the 4060 is not as bad as it was made to have, like, to be out as all the content creators and stuff when they reviewed it. Like, it is by no means a good, like, value per dollar card, but it is not straight up wasted sand tier as a lot of bandwagoners and some content creators put it out to be. Like, I recommended a 4060 to a relative that doesn't live in state, so I can help them, like, you know, piece together the build, and they didn't want to buy used. So I was like, well, you know, for the low budget that you have, the 4060 is the only thing that makes sense. So, yeah. .46's prices have come down. I mean, they've been floating around the $300 price point for a while. If you can buy one used, given how new they are, a used one wouldn't be that bad of a deal. But yeah, should not have been. It should have been a 4050. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, is Nvidia going to release? Because you know how sometimes, even though they're on the next generation of cards, they can go back and release, you know, like lower end versions of the previous gen. I wonder if Nvidia is ever going to release a 4050 at any point in time for desktop, discrete desktop for consumers. So, I don't know. It's just, I would love to see brand new graphics cards in the price range of 150 to 200 bucks. I don't want Intel, the one who's like, quote unquote, late to the consumer desktop PC space as of recent. I don't want them to be the only option people have with their Arc A580, right? It would be nice if AMD and Nvidia both had a sub $200 option that was competitive, because like, some people just want a game at 1080p. Not everybody's trying to do AAA titles at like 144, 240 hertz, 1440p, 4K, all that stuff. Some people just want to play games at 1080p, 60 FPS. And that's what the sub $200 price range is good for. But we'll see. Probably, I mean, business-wise, it's probably not as good of a decision, because you only have so many yields for like the chips and stuff like that. And the margins probably aren't there, but still, like, you get people in the door with the budget options, then over time they become loyal and buy from you higher end. Whatever happened to that business model? Jason Whitmer says, I just bought some Intel stock, so can y'all buy the new chips when they get announced? Thank you. 500 is the max I pay for a new GPU. I think I'm around this area too. Like, my limit, and I don't often go up to the $500 mark. I like the, like, more of like the 450, but yeah, I think 500 is my limit. Like, I don't know. I personally am not a pixel peeper graphics snob. I don't mind playing on medium. I want to run a test where, like, I sit people down in a room and I play them a game at like medium versus ultra settings, and they have to identify which is which. Because in some games, I feel like medium looks great. Like, I think Forza Horizon is one of the best examples of, even when you lower the settings down from the extreme or ultra settings, Forza Horizon on medium and even low looks surprisingly good for low. Obviously, there's a difference between it and ultra, but when you put Forza Horizon on low and just run it, I think it looks so good for how well it runs on low-end hardware. Okay, so as you guys could see from the title of today's stream, we're not going to spend like a ton of time talking about it, because this isn't like I don't usually use the streams for like news or talking about leaks and stuff like that. But I thought it was a good way to start off the stream. And it's talking about the leaks of the next gen cards, which I feel like we're kind of, it feels like the leaks are coming in super slow this time around, because we're supposedly, if they do follow the release schedule of around the holiday season in December, releasing, you know, the top high-end graphics cards, like Nvidia, for the last two launches, right? It was a December, what's it called? They had like the December press event for the official launches for the 80 and 90 series cards. We're already in October, so I feel like the last two cycles there were more solidified leaks, but this came out just the day after last week's stream, so this news isn't brand new by any means, but we haven't talked about it on the stream yet. But this is on videocards.com, and it's talking about the RTX 5090 and the 5080, so the next gen top tier consumer cards from Nvidia, based on a well-known leaker, Kopit for Kimi. Am I saying that right? Anyways, so they leaked some of the specs, so no performance or anything like that, but you can deduce sometimes from the specs and information. So looking at these numbers, for a lot of people, I think would be like, what? They're just a bunch of random numbers. You need something to look at them relative to. So thanks to Video Cards, which I do have their link down in the description if you want to check this out in more detail. They lay it out nicely side by side. So now we can get a better idea of the hardware differences between the last gen 90 and 80 cards to what is supposedly, again, this is all leaks. Nothing is confirmed. I don't know what this person's record is for getting leaks correct and spot on versus missing the mark. But if this is true, because there's no benchmarks, you kind of have to look at like the core count, and so no clock information is released. But the streaming multiprocessors are released. So between the two cards, the 90 card, you get a 128 bump up to 170, which is pretty drastic. What percentage is that? Like 40, what's 50%? So like 40-ish% bump up in streaming multiprocessors. The 4080, not so much. So 76 to 84, that's about a 10% bump. CUDA cores, you get a huge massive leap from 16,000 to 21,000. And remember, this is all on top of being new architecture as well. So even if all these numbers were the same from generation to generation, you do have, you know, this is now Blackwell versus Ada Lovelace. So you will have some gains there. This is just gains on top of that. But if you look at the 4080, from 9,700-ish to 10,700, that's about a 10% jump up as well. Memory goes up from GDDR6X to GDDR7. Let's see, 4080, the memory bus is about the same, or it is the same, but 4090 increases from 384 to 512. Memory speed increases for both the 28 gigabits per second. Memory bandwidth is increased in both, but again, so the 4090, just looking at these numbers, the 4090, the generational leap looks to be really big, whereas the 4080, looking at this, everything is like, looks like in the 10% realm. Maybe a little bit more with the generational bump as well. See, power draw. People care a lot about power draw. So we've got from 450 watts from the 4090 to 600 watts. So that's a 33% increase. So 450 to 600 is 150 watts. 150 is 33% of 450. So that's a pretty decent jump. And then 320 watts on the 4080 to 400 watts. So that's 80. That's a 25% bump up, if these numbers are true. So 25% bump up there. These are PCIe 5.0 cards. And then announcement date, maybe sometime in 2024. So, alright, let's take a look at the comments and see what people think. Like I put on the title or the thumbnail of this stream, I'm never too excited about the launch of the... What I'm excited about when it comes to these high-end cards being released is that it means that the 5th gen or 5000 series RTX cards are going to be out, and to follow are the more affordable cards for the majority of the gamers out there. I'm not specifically ever excited about these high-end cards because they're not targeted towards me, and I would have a feeling they're not targeted towards like the viewers. So why does 80 series still only have 16 gigs of VRAM? That's a good question. Let me run a poll real quick on both of the chats. Okay. Are you going. Just to see what we've got there. So when these release, are y'all gonna be in the market? Because while I do run a primarily like more budget-oriented channel, use hardware, stuff like that, getting deals. I know of people in my community or in this community that do have like 4080s and 4090s. So there is a subset of people who are interested in the higher end cards, and depending on like what your lifestyle is, right? Spending anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 on a single piece of hardware like a graphics card, if it's something that can last you multiple years and you're financially well off, you've got a stable career, etc., all your other stuff in life is in order, then if this is your primary hobby too, then it can totally be justified, right? There are so many other hobbies where people spend this much money or more. With a PC, you can do not only gaming, but you could do like photo editing, video editing, stuff like that. Not that you need a high-end card, but I'm just saying, if you use your computer a lot, hours a day, day in and day out for years, then you can justify the cost so easily. I'm someone who does use the computer a lot, but I know that I don't need this powerful of a card, so I don't ever aim for them, but yeah. People in chat, help me get his attention. I need a motherboard and I'll be able to start my PC build, please. What are you looking for motherboard-wise? Are you looking for like advice on what to pick? 5060 should be 12 gigabyte VRAM. 5070, 16 gigabytes. 5080, 20 gigabytes. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see when the other cards that fall into succession after these two, if they're gonna keep those same VRAM targets that they had previously, or if they're actually gonna bump up. Like, Craig Lilly is happy with an XFX RX 6750 XT, which again, I think that's still a solid card. We are already in October. It just sounds crazy. Where has the time gone? Right? Yeah. I don't know. It might be. It depends on how old you are too. Remember, as you age, each year becomes a smaller percentage of your entire life. So, when I was 10 years old, 1 year would be 1/10 of my life. But at 35, 1 year is less than 3% of my life. So, it definitely is starting to fly by. When does the RTX 50 series come out? There is no firm date yet. A lot of people are speculating the end of the year, but we'll have to see. I mean, it's been 2 years. I have the date. You think CES? When's CES again? Like February? I've never been to CES. Going to CES sounds like work. Like, going to LTX did not feel like work, even though I did work during LTX. Going to a trade show like CES and Computex, while I do want to go, it sounds like, oh, it's January. Wait, is it always in January, or did I mix it up? January, so January release date versus December, only a month, 1 month difference. Yeah, I guess CES wouldn't be a bad time too. CES is always on my birthday, so you go to Vegas, right, to gamble and maybe watch some UFC and go to CES, Chris? Jason Leslie over on the Shorts chat says, I have an i9 12900K with the 3070 Ti. Going to upgrade to a 5080, and it should be good for me for 10 years? Alright, I don't know about that. I know you got an i9 and you're planning on getting a 5080, which is going to be not the top tier, but a pretty top tier card for next generation. I know some people make their upgrades last for 10 years. I have a friend that actually did that. It was closer to 8 years, but still, close enough. Not many people. I feel like the people who end up buying the top end bleeding edge of the consumer tech hardware, like people who usually spend on i9s and like 4090s and 4080s and stuff like that, they typically aren't the type to ride that until those cards become weaker than entry-level cards. Like if you look at 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago in 2014, the top-end card was 980 Ti consumer side, right? If we don't count like Titan. It'd be like a 980 Ti, right? A 980 Ti in this day and age is like, I think the equivalent of a 3050 or something like that. 3050 or 30... I don't think it's a 3060 level. I'm pretty sure a 3060 is like a 1080. So yeah, a 980 Ti from 10 years ago is roughly like the 3050 performance level, I think, if I'm getting that right. So I don't know. I'm not doubting you, but I would say not many people ride hardware out that long. Wait, what? Wait. Hey, Danny, I saw Nick randomly on a Japan IRL Twitch stream. No way. Are you sure it was Nick? Can you send me that either via email or in the Discord? If that stream is still available for you to clip it. Nick does like to travel a lot. He has traveled to many countries. He's probably the most traveled of the entire group in terms of like international travel. So I'm trying to think, depending on when that stream was, that might have actually been him, but yeah. Elijah Keenum is asking for a free motherboard. Anyone would help. I mentioned it in the latest video, but I do not send hardware to people who just ask for free hardware, unfortunately, so I cannot. It was Nick. Oh, please send me the clip or the stream. I would love to show it to him. Dude, the newest card in my house right now is from 2019. I think you underestimate people. Well, 2019 cards are still very viable right now. Those are like 20 series cards, right? So yeah, I mean, I think 20 series is still super good in this day and age. $1080 Ti still do go crazy. 1080 Ti is, I think, around like a 6600 to 3060 performance level. Yeah, and you can get them for sub $150. So it's just that they're a little bit more power hungry, but not bad. All right, what are the polls so far? So of the votes that we have so far, short stream, it's about 50-50. So a decent amount of people are in the market for like a 50-90, 50-80. Over on the landscape stream side of things, it's about a 30-70 split, with 70% saying no, not interested in the high-end tier cards. What's on the left side of your ear? On the left side of my ear is this is the mic. This is the mic, but I shouldn't even wear it right now because it's not working. I'm talking through this mic right now. I usually use the wireless mic, but for some reason it's not being detected, so I need to figure that out. So yeah, I can take it off because I'm not going to be moving around the stream at all. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, let's see. Hypothetically says, replaced the GTX 970 last year to an RX 6600, then sold it for more than I paid. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Then you sold the 6600 for more than you paid and got a 7900 GRE. Dude, both of those were huge jumps up. Going from a 970 to a 6600 is like a night and day difference. Like so many generations between those cards. And then you go from the 6600 to the 7900 GRE, which is only one generation spanning them, but you're jumping so many tiers up. So, congrats. That's awesome. I got 5 G's. You're talking about like $5 grand, like $5,000 for the 5090. Are you gonna do like a a really expensive multi-$1,000 build with it. If they delay it and they release during the tariffs, then I will be pissed. I'm a broke boy with a GTX 760, says Shanks. I have an Alienware i7 RTX 3070 Ti. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. Here's the thing about Alienware. They are overpriced compared to other system integrators, and of course compared to building it yourself. But I honestly have no issues with people who just end up... My friend, one of my best friends for the last 25 years, Jesse, from the LAN Party Stories videos, he bought an Alienware desktop. You think I'm giving him a bunch of crap about buying one of those? He makes enough money where... And he just doesn't want the hassle, and I guess he didn't want to bother me to, like, build a PC for him, even though I would have built it for him for free, no charge. Like, he paid for the parts, I would gladly build it for him, but he doesn't live in state anymore. He lives out of state, so, you know, he wanted a computer, and he bought it, and he makes enough money where it's fine. It's not like he has any thermal throttling issues, temperatures are fine, he doesn't crash. So, like, I don't know. I feel like, sure, sometimes people don't make the best financial decisions, but the internet has a really bad rap for, like, just trying to, like, pound into them and make them feel bad about their purchasing choices. Like, it's different when someone asks for your advice and they don't follow it and then, you know, go out and buy an Alienware. But if no one asks for your advice, don't give it unsolicited, right? Like... I know there are plenty of people out there who are happy with their Alienware computers, so if you get any hate for it, don't feel bad about it if it works fine for you. If people want an older Alienware desktop, they better do it fast before PC Bro buys them all up. Yeah, they because, like, I don't know who's doing all the deal hunting over at the Toasty Bros, but if it's, like, you know, Zach, McAllister, Matt, Jackson, like, if they're all just looking at deals on eBay, like, day in and day out, yeah, they've bought some crazy good eBay, like, it looks like, I don't think they were even bid, right? Like, buy it now prices for old systems with good hardware in it. But the thing is, so they make the video sharing that you should go and do the same thing, but I think a lot of people get mad at them because they can't buy the same deal, which obviously when you're deal hunting and stuff like that, all the good deals aren't going to be around forever, and a lot of the best deals on the internet are usually one and done kind of stuff. So you just got to be more proactive about searching and stuff. And I don't blame, like, Matt and Jackson for doing that. They're just making fun, interesting content and telling people to look in these places. You might not be able to find these exact deals, but if you keep looking for long enough, you can save money. But yeah. Elusive Electron. Thank you for the... is that playing? The Spitfire alert. Come on. I didn't hear it playing. Give me 1 second. We can't be having that. OBS, why you do this to me right now? Where's the window? Oh, because I'm not logged on. But Elusive Electron, thank you for the super chat. How's my foot going? So I'm doing bone growth stimulator. I'm putting a bone growth stimulator on my foot at the moment. So every night at the exact same time, I use this ultrasonic wave device that I hook up to my foot, and it resonates for like 20 minutes, and it stimulates my body doing whatever it needs to do to regrow my bone, or in that area, to heal my bone rather. So I'm doing that, but I'm walking now. I can't jog yet. I can't run. I can't stand on that foot, on the ball of my foot, but it's better than being bedridden. So yeah, and I do have 2 live streams going. There's a vertical and a non-vertical stream. So yes, it is a short stream. Yeah. So you guys can watch whichever one you want. This is kind of an experiment. If the short stream doesn't pick up after a while, I'm gonna just go back to doing the normal stream, because it's not like, how many of you out there are watching the landscape stream on your phone still? I put the vertical stream there because YouTube is like kind of promoting shorts and vertical content more. So I was just seeing if I could get in on the growth. But if it's not beneficial, and I look at the analytics after a while, then I might just going back to doing one stream. But yeah. Casey Walls, nope, you're my hero. Thanks for the kind words, Casey. I have landscape on phone. Yeah, see, and this is pretty much how a lot of people watch streams for the longest time before vertical became like the new popular thing. So that's how I watch people stream too. Like I watch it on vertical as well, or just like in a minimized window, not minimized, but like in a little tiny PIP window while I'm doing other stuff. So yeah. MSI is way more expensive than Alienware. You're talking about like MSI pre-builts? Is it more expensive? Maybe we can look into that actually. MSI pre-built PC and Alienware. This will be fun. We haven't looked at pre-builts in a while. So that could be the next thing we look at. Okay, Young Goku or XXYNNG Goku. Would it be better to start a new PC build off of a budget, or build off my current Dell PC from Amazon? So, without even knowing your Dell PC, but knowing that it's a Dell, I mean, you're pretty limited because Dell uses OEM motherboards. Unless you get like a... Do Dell make XPS systems that uses like non-proprietary or non-OEM parts? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Dell also owns Alienware, but an Alienware is not considered a Dell. But that versus we need more details because I have no idea how old your Optiplex is. I think if you're on a budget regarding this situation right here, I'm going to end the poll so that we can actually see the chat on the thing, but the numbers are still about the same. Regarding this situation right here, if you are on a budget, and money is tight and things like that, which I would imagine if you're on like a Dell PC from Amazon, there are upgrades you can do for the time being without having to build from scratch if money is tight and you can't afford everything at once, right? Things like an SSD, even if you had to get like a 2.5-inch SSD, for boot times and game loading, it's not the end of the world. If it has an NVMe slot, even better because you can upgrade storage and then transfer it over. Your graphics card is another thing that, unless you buy like a card that's very limited in the PCI generation, where it actually gets held back due to being on like Gen 4 or even Gen 3, if your Dell system is that old. But if it's not that old and it's like Gen 4, you're pretty safe to buy any graphics card that's like entry to mid tier, and that's also something you could bring over to your next build. But the Dell case is not, I feel like it's not too reusable. Dell, a lot of their cases have built-in like riveted hard drive cages and just like stuff that you don't even need. Sometimes there's single chamber cases where the power supply is in the same like chamber, so cable management gets messy. But yeah, I mean, you already have a system that seems to be working. How much money do you have to spend, and how knowledgeable are you about building a system from scratch? That's the only reason why I didn't jump to just say, oh yeah, of course, build a new PC on a budget gathering parts. Because I found that when you're like a beginner, not experienced with deal hunting, buying parts and then putting it together, installing Windows, all that stuff, I've come across so many people who run into troubleshooting problems that build videos online don't help, because the build videos are just generic, right? They're not specifically pairing this motherboard with these parts and things like that. And even then, you just have these weird bugs and troubleshooting issues that, as a beginner, is a pain to get through. So it depends on your experience. I have a buddy who can help me. He built his PC, so that helps a lot. If you have a buddy that can help you and you have enough money to source the parts, then on, to get a budget PC. I don't even know what budget means. Like, how much money do you have to spend? Did you say? So your system currently is a i3-6100. Oof, that's old. i3-6100. That's 4-core, 4-thread, right? i3-6100. No, that was 2-core, 4-thread. I was thinking of the Skylake i5s. Those were 4-core, 4-threads. But you've got 4 threads. I mean, by this point, this is pretty old. Like, this came out, what year? Launched in 2015. So it's coming up on, almost 10 years old. So, yeah, my advice is, if you have a buddy that can help you out, and you're comfortable enough to source used parts to put together a budget PC. The thing about used parts is, I recently, and good thing, I bought a graphics card that had artifacting issues, but I ended up buying it from a used hardware shop, so they were able to give me an exchange. They gave me a different card. But those are things that, like, as much as all the content creators glorify like used deals and stuff like that, you get 1 or 2 DOA parts, especially if you buy from Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or OfferUp locally, you might not get your money back. So I'm just putting the precaution out there. Make sure to test your parts, and make sure to test it sooner rather than later. Because some people, they deal hunt over the course of like a month. So they'll buy one part at the beginning, and then the next deal comes and they buy that and they buy it. And it takes them like maybe a month or 2 to get their parts together. And then when it comes time to put it all together and turn it on, they find out one of the parts is dead. And they not only can they not troubleshoot what the dead part is because they don't have spare parts, but you have a friend. So hopefully your friend can help you troubleshoot. But also, you think people are going to give you a refund 2 months after the fact when you bought, let's say, a graphics card from them, and you come back and said, hey, this ended up being dead. I bought this from you 2 months ago. Heck no. They have no idea if you broke it or not. So, yeah, just trying to give, like, straight up real advice, because those are the risks that you take. Robert Fixit says, as an Optiplex person, while they do accept a lot of new parts, the amount of times it takes to make everything fit in adapters and such, you really just need to start from scratch. That, I mean, I agree with this. Again, depending on their situation, like how much money, did they say how much money they had to spend? I'm trying to, okay, so, Young Goku is saying, I'm trying to get into VR gaming, and it's going to take a while to save up. What would be a good budget? For VR, okay, so VR gaming is like, it's such a broad description, kind of like saying I want to get into gaming, because you can get into gaming and play like Valorant and League of Legends, or you can get into gaming and play Black Myth Wukong or the new Final Fantasy. One of those can run on integrated graphics, the other one requires high-end hardware. So when it comes to VR gaming, and I recently have been trying to do more VR gaming, I've got a MetaQuest 2 that I link up to Steam. And if you're trying to play games like Beat Saber or some of the VR made games, a lot of those run really easily. Like Beat Saber, some of the climbing games, the ones that are built, because if you think about the MetaQuest, right, some of the games are made to run off of it without a PC being hooked up to it. So they're optimized, and they don't have like crazy AAA graphics. They're made as like lighter to run games. So you could pretty much play those types of VR games on like, I don't know, a $100 graphics card, like a 1070, 1080 or something. But then I recently tried to play, there's a mod for Cyberpunk 2077 VR. And I tried to run it on a 3070, which is not like a super brand new card, but it's not super old either. And given that Cyberpunk is, what, like 4 or 5 years old by this point, I thought I could at least run it. But no, you have to think, when you play VR, you're not just rendering like 1980 by 1080 in like a square box. You're rendering well beyond that, and it has to be able to, because with VR, when you like turn your head and stuff, right, it's picking up stuff that normally is not being shown on your screen. The resolution for VR is like way bigger because it has to capture your peripherals and all that. So I don't think if you're trying to do AAA gaming VR, I think you're gonna have to increase your budget by quite a bit. Like I don't know if I would come. What would y'all say? Anyone super experienced with VR out there? Let me know like what you're running VR on and what kind of games. But I would say if VR is like your focus and you want to play some of the AAA stuff with, you know, the better graphics and not just Beat Saber, I mean, I'm thinking like at like $1,000 or more for like that kind of VR experience. The RTX 4070 struggles on Minecraft VR, and we're talking, was that with mods or not? But yeah. Watching You says, what do you think of Lenovo pre-built towers? They legit? The Lenovo Legion towers, I think they're fine. The thing about the system integrators, when you buy from these like big, you know, the big kind of, I guess, legacy ones, right? The ones that might use either OEM parts, or we're talking like Dell, HP, Acer, Lenovo, stuff like that. I feel like they usually charge a bit more of a premium just because they've been around for longer and they're more known for being system integrators. Whereas if you go to some of the newer ones like Starforge, NZXT, and then some of the smaller boutique ones as well, like Power GPU, Alexander PC, stuff like that. You get Seattle built. There's one in Seattle actually locally. Like they tend to give you a little bit better prices. So, but the good thing about the Lenovo's and Dells and things like that is that they often run sales. So they have sales throughout the year, as well as during like the major ones like Black Friday, stuff like that, Cyber Monday. So it just depends. I think they're fine if you can get them on like a sale. Met Prism says, I would say the recommended GPU for VR would be like a 7900 GRE or a 4070 Ti Super. Yeah, I after trying Cyberpunk in VR, I'm inclined to agree with this more. But again, you know, what is that VR chat game? Games like that don't require a ton of graphics power, processing power, because the graphics are very basic, you know? So it just depends. Hey, what up, Logan? Imagine trying to troubleshoot a VR headset. Good luck, because you're gonna need A+ certification to do so. Yeah, I'm not opening up a VR headset. I actually have an old, I forget, is it the Acer cheap one? And it ended up like failing on me. I don't know what the issue is. I can't open that thing up and like freaking look at the, you know, the circuit board and figure out what went wrong. So I only spent like 150 on it like 3 or 4 years ago. So it wasn't a big deal, but yeah. You sent the live stream, Z McNabb. Okay, awesome. In the anime YouTube pop-up store. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Maybe we could watch this. Let me see. Would a 4070 be good for 4K gaming? I do not consider the 4070 a good 4K card. But it depends on what games you're playing. It can run League of Legends and Valorant okay at 4K. It can run some games okay at 4K with DLSS and frame generation, stuff like that, right? But you're talking about native 4K, AAA, ultra settings, I guess you could argue that even a card like the 4080, 4080 Super, or even 4090 will even struggle with that. So it depends on what your definition is and what you're trying to play. But I think in general, would most of y'all agree that the 4070 isn't a 4K gaming? I would say it is very comfortably a 1440p gaming card. But I don't know if I would consider it 4K. Alright, let me take a look at this real quick. I don't know.
your style, brother.
Dude, I like it.
I didn't want to mess up your style, brother.
You look good in that. I gotta
It's
say.
the new Spider-Man.
It's the perfect. It's
nonsense
the
Spidey
color,
there.
the color.
That's not Nick.
His superpowers are eating burgers.
That's not Nick. Okay.
I don't know.
This is a black guy with dreads, yes. And let me listen to his voice.
You look good in that. I gotta
It's the
say.
new Spider-Man.
It's the perfect. It's
nonsense
the color.
Spidey.
He actually sounds like Nick as well, but this is not Nick. I will show Nick this though because I think this is pretty funny. But this is not Nick. He has never colored his dreads. His dreads are also bigger than this, and obviously I've known Nick for years. This is. I will agree. For someone who doesn't know Nick and have only seen like the LAN party stories where like the lighting and the angles might not be perfect, I can see why you confuse this with Nick. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, if this guy said his name was Nick too, that's the craziest coincidence. Yeah. Don't worry, dude. I think it's totally reasonable to have mistaken it. Nick is also into Japanese culture as well, and this guy did sound like him. And if his name was Nick, I could see. Yeah. So there are more Nicks with dreads out there in the world. But nah. Thanks for sharing that. I'm gonna share it with Nick and the LAN group. I'm sure they're gonna have a fun laugh with it. But let's see. Not racism at all. That was totally a totally okay mistake. Jason's just trolling. He doesn't actually think you're racist. When I did paint the EVJ GPU white, did it affect the temps? Nah, nope. It did not affect. Well, not to anything that I could tell. Right. Running it after the fact, like you can look in the benchmarks, like the temperatures. If they changed, it wasn't anything significant enough to notice because the card still ran pretty cool, like overall. I mean, I painted what could affect the temperatures? Even painting the back plate, I didn't use thermal insulating paint, and it's a thin layer of paint. And if you look at thermal continuity, like the back plate to the paint layer to the outside of the paint layer, it is such a thin layer. There's no way you can go from like some reasonable temperature to spiking like 20 degrees. That's not how like physics and stuff works. So yeah, there's like no insulating effect. Where's the LAN party at? The LAN party was at my place coming up on 2 weekends ago. The video is gonna be out in December. Doppelganger, indeed. That's definitely a Nick doppelganger. Yeah. I will share that with him. I have Geek Squad has a 7800 X3D. Funny enough, that's the CPU in August, played around 360. Yeah, dude, we talked about this last week on stream, but the 7800 X3D situation seems to have is just getting worse. The prices for them, let's see. People have said that you can get them if you constantly look and when they pop back in stock. But 7800 X3D, well, 7900 X3D is 44. Where's the 7800 X3D though? Is it not even here? Because it's in that. This is strange. Usually they would eat. Oh, here it is. Wait, no, that's a Micro Center bundle. Where's the individual CPU? But if you aren't aware, there's kind of like a shortage issue. It's twofold, right? AMD's launch of the 9000 series chips did not go over well with reviewers and consumers. And Intel having their issues, which now, I mean, they fixed it since then. But, I mean, I think so many people are on the Intel hate bandwagon now that they going over to AMD. There's a hate bandwagon for the 9000 series chips. So then if you want like the quote unquote best value gaming chip right now, it is going to be the 7800 X3D. So there's like a huge bottleneck in the supply versus the demand. And I mean, Walmart Shenzhen, so if you want to buy it from overseas, shipped by Walmart, $550. You know, almost $200 more than what they were going for beforehand. Oh, here, now I can find one, but there's zero offers of, wait. Zero offers, it says zero featured offers available, but what about the third-party sellers? Like, I can't even buy that on Amazon at all. There are no 7800 X3D chips. Oh, see all buying options. Oh, you can buy a used one for $450. New ones are $550. Yeah, so you're paying like close to $200 over what they were going for like not too long ago, prior to the Intel debacle as well as the AMD's new chip launch. Yeah, you can get it. I mean, at this point, do y'all think this is worth $550? When it was, how much did I pay for mine? Let me take a look at my Amazon account. Let me see when I bought it and what I bought it for. So I bought it February of this year, so about 8 months ago. And where's the order details? I bought it for $360. So yeah, I bought mine for $360. And now it is almost $200 more. Still available on AliExpress. Is it that one or the 70? What's it called? 7700. Let me see. AliExpress. 7800 X3D. And the issue is, even though AliExpress has really good prices on AMD chips, some people just don't trust AliExpress. No, let's see. So 550. So all 500. 5700 X3D from last gen is 200. I'm not seeing anything on AliExpress. So sorting lowest price, 484 is the lowest I could find, unless you guys are seeing something else on your end. Mr. Pete, 1985, got my 7800 X3D in August for around 367. Yeah, that was about their going price, like the mid 300s. I have a GTX 1080. Can you recommend a GPU upgrade that wouldn't destroy my wallet? I don't have any preferences, AMD or Nvidia. I have owned both. How much money do you have to spend? Because I could recommend a GPU upgrade, like a 6700, 6750 XT would be an upgrade. Not a huge upgrade, but it would be an upgrade from the 1080, which means the 6800, 6800 XT, and 7800 XT are good upgrades, but then you're starting to go up to $400, $500 territory, right? So it depends on how much you have to spend. There are plenty of upgrades over the 1080, but I don't know what destroying your wallet means. To some people, $500 means destroying your wallet. My dad bought a Ryzen 5 5600 for 121 USD. New, by the way. Well, see, this is where we were talking about. Like, so your dad bought a 5600, and I'm not trying to like make you feel bad or something. It just goes back to the talking point that we just had. Oh, did we just? No. Yeah, you can see. So these are tray CPUs meant for OEMs and stuff like that. Sold without a cooler, sold without a warranty. But from 121 versus $80, you're saving like what is it, 33%? So AliExpress is good for CPUs, AMD CPUs, or old Xeons for sure. Thoughts on the influx of PC flipping YouTube content? Asked Jason. So the YouTube and just like the PC flipping scene, I mean, it's always been around, but I feel like it kind of popped off during the pandemic, when, you know, the prices were so bad for graphics cards that a lot of people look to just buy whole builds and hope to get a discount. And people were stuck at home, bored, not knowing what to do. People were starting their own businesses, you know, starting flipping PCs and stuff. I feel like there was such a huge explosion and potentially like a bubble in the PC flipping scene that nowadays everybody and their moms are flipping PCs. I think there might be a correction where the people who are flipping who are not doing it as well in terms of like the profiting enough or are not providing a good enough service, because I would assume people flipping PCs, like hopefully they're building good enough systems that their customers don't have issues with, right? But everyone is doing it that just by the numbers, there are probably some people who are doing it who don't have as much experience or aren't building as high quality of systems as others. So over time, I think it'll naturally correct itself where the people who are the best at it will continue doing it, and the ones that aren't will like move on or just not sell as much. But there has been a ton of PC flipping content like all over YouTube. I'm not a PC flipper. I've done I know I've done less than 5 videos on PC flipping. It's probably closer to like 2 or 3 in the history of my channel. I'm not trying to like make a ton of money building PCs, selling it, and making a profit. Almost every system that I build, I basically sell it as at the same price that I got all the parts for. So my labor and stuff goes in for free, but I'm doing it for mostly friends and family because that's who I mostly sell my systems to. So I'm not profiting off of them. And if I can make content off of it, then, you know, that's good enough for me. I'm not trying to charge people an extra like $100, $150, $200, especially since I have a channel where I can make money other ways. I'm not saying, you know, flippers charging a premium for their the work that they put into is bad or anything, but just from my perspective, like my channel Nerd on a Budget, I teach people how to build PCs for, you know, under market value, hopefully, if you're doing the deal hunting right. But whatever you decide to do with that information afterwards is up to you. So okay, wait, where's the person who wanted a recommendation for a graphics card? They were in the shorts chat, so they probably left. Jason says, PC flipping is a great hobby to play with PC parts. I just don't like how kids are acting like it's the way to make serious cash. I have seen a rise in content about like the one that Jason showed me. It was like, I quit my job to start flipping PCs and stuff like that. Which, I mean, if it works out, then good for that person. But yeah, that I feel like a lot of people are starting to do it and trying to basically make a full-time thing out of it. Which, I mean, the whole PC flipping thing, there's a reason why system integrators do it at a much larger scale, because I would have to imagine, like, what are the failure or like the percentage of issues that some of the systems have, and what is their response to fixing it. So on websites like Jawa, there's a lot of PC flippers on there, but they're vetted, and a lot of them go above and beyond to have like some kind of warranty that they promise. Now, obviously, with the warranty, if they're not around in a few years, then the warranty is not worth anything. But a lot of the sellers on there have been selling for multiple years by this point. So, I feel like you would have a better chance of them helping you troubleshoot or fixing the problem. But if you're just buying from some random flipper on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp, where there isn't like a platform like Jawa, I mean, I guess there's rep on those ones, but still, I would have to imagine the quality of their PC builds and what kind of warranty they are slapping behind it. Because, yeah, the people who are buying pre-builds in the first place probably aren't the most tech literate. So they are depending on the tech support and warranty aspect of it. So, yeah. Caveman Truckin says, I personally would never buy a pre-built from anyone. When you say anyone, do you mean like any individual or even from a company? Like, you know, iBuyPower, CyberPower, Costco. Yo, Costco needs their own line of pre-builts. Right now, they're selling like iBuyPower stuff and like iBuyPower, CyberPower, sometimes Lenovo's and stuff like that. But what if Costco has such a good reputation and the Kirkland Signature brand has such a good rep? What if they came out with the Kirkland Signature pre-built PC? I would buy the crap out of that and review it. Just because of my love of Costco. Kirkland pre-built LMAO, yeah. Ethan, okay, came back and said, that's fair. I have a budget of $600. I'm considering used 7800 XT. I think that's a good choice. Would there be used? Let's see what the used 7900 GRE market's looking like. Because if you can get one of those and you want to use up all your budget. So if you get a used 7800 XT, you're looking at what, 450 bucks? So you still have some money left over, but if you wanted a like a GRE, a 7900 GRE, you could also fit that within your budget. If you want new, you're looking at you're looking at 530. Yeah, so the used one, I thought the used market would look a little bit better than this. Yeah, so I think both 70 what's the 7800 XT used going for? They should be like in the mid to low 400s, I would imagine. Oh, they're what? You can get these for that much new on like Amazon. Or I thought you could. 479. Okay, so for at this point, 450 versus 480 used versus brand new, and then you have your GRE, which is almost the same price. New and used. So yeah, your best bet to get the maximum value out of your dollar, especially if you don't care about AMD versus Nvidia, would be 7800 XT or 7900 GRE. And they're both at like, their price difference is like 40 to 50 bucks depending on the model you want. So I think both of them are good. Fopopo. I sent you my PC part picker list. Please rate it. I'm gonna buy it. You sent in stream submissions. All right, we could do that. Stream submissions. We are over an hour in the stream, and oh, Shauner sent his thing too. Shauner, I think, is gone though. Dang it. Homicides. I was told. Okay, so we've got Homicides. He's still in the YouTube chat right now. So we got Homicides and Fopopo's list. So let's take a look at Homicides first. Oh, Shauner, you're still there. All right, we'll take a. I want to take a look at Shauner's list. So he built the system for 200. He did get some hand-me-down parts, so that's why it is so cheap. Otherwise, I mean, a 1070 goes for like 70, 80 bucks. Good deals would be like 60 bucks in my area. And then an 8700. So you got a pretty good deal on the motherboard, just because motherboards, for some stupid reason, they always hold their value. Probably because over time they become more rare as they get cycled out of production. You can only buy them in the used market, and they definitely do not last as long as CPUs. So then you get like you know, an oversupply of CPUs circulating in the used market and less motherboards. But 40 bucks is a very solid price despite how old the platform is. And then I don't know how much an 8700 is. Would that be like probably 60 bucks in this day and age? So if you had to pay like standard price for it, probably be closer to 300 bucks. But overall, pretty nice prices on everything else. 61 bucks on this nice Asus Prime kind of smaller case. 450 watt EVGA for $16. What is this, the white label one? Which again, at this level, it is the white 3, which I have no idea. I'm imagining EFD tier somewhere on the tier list. But who cares about the PSU tier list when the build is this cheap? And then 250 gig, or no, 500 gig SSD for 25 bucks. Nice. And then 16 gigs RAM for 30 from Amazon. Very nice, very nice. All right, so let's see. Was this person still here? You've had the SSD for a while, yeah. I recently picked up a 2.5 inch, and it's gonna be in the upcoming video. 2.5 inch, 500 gig Samsung Evo 860. I paid 22 bucks for that, and luckily, like, I got it from a used PC hardware shop, which there's not a ton of around here, but it was one of those e-cycling centers. So, yeah. I mean, I think 2.5 inch drives are still fine. And they're extra still fine when you're building on a small budget. If Homicides is not here, then we might skip over their list and go to Full Propose. So I'm just waiting to see if they're still here. Yeah, I think he's gone. Or they're gone. Don't know if it's he or she, but yeah. Derek Monsibais. Oh gosh. Monsibais. Probably butchered your last name, but says, yo bro, new to the channel for like a month. Love the content. Keep shining. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by the stream, and thank you for the kind words. Let's see. Kirkland signature build sounds good. Law, I would buy. I would buy too. All right, so we are moving on to Full Proposed list. Hey, can you rate my PC part picker? So you are planning on buying this, which I do like looking over lists that people are actually gonna buy, so that the advice is used rather than just like theory builds that people make just for the fun of it. 5600X, okay, Hyper 212 Black Edition. Let me take a look at this on Amazon. Asus Prime B550 for 120. Wow, what? Why is that so expensive? 32 gigs of Corsair 3600 18 memory for 72 bucks. So it looks like you're going for a stealth black build. Okay. So this comes in 845. Let's see, we've got a 4060, a H5 Flow, MSI Mag, 650 watt power supply. Okay, so looking at this build, there's nothing like hugely wrong with it, but there are areas where I feel like you can get, you can save some money. Like, are you tied down to this? Well, you're going for the black color scheme too, but most graphics cards comes in black, so it should be fine. Are you comfortable with used parts or not? Because if you are, you could reduce the price, at least on the graphics card, save yourself potentially like 50 bucks and get a better graphics card. If you don't need Nvidia, like you could find 6700 XT, 6750 XTs for around 250 pretty easily. So you save 50 bucks there. Also 3070s are also cheaper than 300 bucks in the used market right now, and outperform the 4060 in the majority of games. And you could probably easily find a black one. If you could buy one used, you also save on taxes. So the graphics card sticks out, though I'm not gonna like roast you for choosing a 4060. If you're trying to only get new, you don't have that many options. You could grab the AMD 7600 XT, which is cheaper, but I don't know, you might want the Nvidia specific features. I was looking at buying a 30, you should be able to get a 3070 for much less, or not much less, but a decent amount less than $299. Do not buy a 3070 used for 300 bucks. But you do have a lot of options, but it sounds like you're trying to get Nvidia because you just mentioned the 3070, which is fine. You know, some people have their brand preferences. And if they're okay with paying a bit more, it's no worries. So this let me look at this Cooler Master Hyper 212 Black, because you could save like $10 here. What is this? 4 heat pipe? Yeah, there's nothing special about this Cooler Master thing. Let's see what we can find. CPU Cooler Black. ID Cooling has an all black cooler. Let's see, 4 heat pipe, looks like similar fin density. You could save $12 to $13 getting this one, and it's got that stealth black look. I would need to look at the side by, like, I would need to pull up different benchmarks and stuff, but actually you can just tell the things that for these air coolers that make the biggest difference are going to be the fan quality, which these two fans, I've used both these coolers. I'm not sure if I would say the Cooler Master is that much better. But also, like, how many heat pipes, as well as how dense or how much metal material you have to disperse the heat and then have the air blowing through it. Like, between these two, I do not think it's worth buying the Cooler Master. Cooler Master, we've talked about this on stream before. They are known for using the legacy and the reputation of their Hyper 212s. And they're selling these coolers that other competitors have equally performing coolers or better performing ones for less. So there was the ID Cooling one. Let's see what else we can find from the list. Just in case you don't want an ID Cooling. And you're running a 5600X. That's not like a crazy power hungry, super hot running CPU. The Thermalright one, unfortunately, if you are going for the all blacked out build, it has a black fan and a black look. But I think even a cooler like this would be fine. Because the silver would complement the silver on your Asus B550 motherboard. Like, it's not like your build is all black, right? There is going to be silver on the motherboard and stuff that would actually complement the Thermalright one, if you don't want to go with ID Cooling. Thermalright, ID Cooling, they both have so many sub $20 coolers. It's not even funny. Thermalright Assassin coolers are so good. They are so good. Indeed. Should I buy the Ryzen 5 5600X in 2024? I recently bought a 5600, which isn't too different than a 5600X. I think AM4 processors are still plenty viable. It's because they are sub, like, $150. So it's not like you're gonna get anything new gen that is that low of a price, right? So if they had Ryzen 3s and i3s, well, I should say Ryzen 3s because there are i3s, but if they had like Ryzen 3, like, I don't know, 7300s or whatever, and they had better IPC, even though they might have less core count, then my answer might be different. But like, it feels like some of the lower and entry level offerings that they used to have, they're just not offering them anymore. So you go back to last gen mid tier to fulfill, the performance for the price. Is Prime Day gonna be worth? We didn't even talk about this, which, let me look at Amazon real quick. They do have Prime stuff going on right now, but Prime Day is next week officially. But Amazon Prime, there's like something going on with Prime starting this week. It's like the pre-Prime deals. But do I think the Prime days are going to be worth? I would say if you're trying to buy PC parts this week, wait till next week, because the Prime deals, you can save like $10, $20 here on some of the major components sometimes. And on the SSDs and RAM and stuff, you can usually find some decent deals. It's not going to be anything crazy. We're not talking like 25%, 30% price reductions. But you can get some savings, which over multiple components can add up. So it is 1 week away. This is one of the rare occasions where I'm like, if you're not dying for a PC, wait till the Prime deals, and we'll look at some of the Prime deals. When's the next Prime day? What day does it fall on? Because if it's not Wednesday, then you might be on your own. Day October 2024. Prime Day deals. Okay, so the early deals already are going on. What are... So early Prime Day deals. What day is it actually though? It's on the 8th. 8th is it 8th or 8th and 9th? If it's on the 9th as well, we can look next week during stream. But I'm getting multiple answers. They aren't even really calling it Prime Day. It's funny because all the news outlets are calling it Prime Day. It starts next week. But is it 1 or 2? October? Okay, so at least NBC, which is a pretty big outlet, I think they would get their info right, especially because it's not political. October 8th and 9th. So there's gonna be deals. So yeah, I would say if you wait till next week, that wouldn't be the end of the world. Getting back to this though, to finish this off. Okay, let's look for B550 motherboards because I feel like unless you have a special like attachment to the, so you need a mic. Do you need a micro ATX board? Oh, okay. Here's another thing. I didn't even realize it was micro ATX till now. So Fopopo, you're getting a mid-tower case, which, dude, the H5 Flow for 70 bucks, really good price in my opinion. I like this case a lot. You don't have to throw a micro ATX board in it. Micro ATX boards are generally cheaper, but you chose the Prime B550M. It looks like you want Wi-Fi because you chose a Wi-Fi card. This is 120 bucks though. Let me see if we can find you a, because this is a pretty like entry level board. There's nothing super special about it. So let me see if we can find you Wi-Fi on a full-size board. Let's see. Let's get all the different Wi-Fis in here. I would assume for most people Wi-Fi 6 should be good enough. Oh dang. Does Wi-Fi really kill? Is Wi-Fi... Give me 1 second. Let me put in Wi-Fi 5. So... Wi-Fi... So the price difference is... What are we looking at? What was it on here? 120 versus 90. So you talk about a $30 price difference. So here, this looks like a similar tier board. Let me pull them up side by side just to see. Look at the images. Like with regards to, so both have two M.2 slots. Funnily enough, the Prime board does not have USB-C header. This MSI Pro VDH does have USB-C header. So if you, I don't remember, the NZXT H5 Flow, does this one have USB-C front? Because if it does have USB-C front header connectors, then you're gonna be screwed on your Prime board. But what else do we have here? So 4 memory slots each, pretty dinky heat sinks on the VRMs. Same number of PCI expansion. So, but what are Wi-Fi speeds? So we're talking about real world. I'm kind of split because the savings from the MSI board is pretty big. You're talking 25% savings, right? 90 to 120 bucks. That's 30 bucks. 30 out of 120 is 25%. So the MSI board has its pros in that it does have a USB-C header and it's 30 bucks cheaper. But it's Wi-Fi 5. Like, do you even know what your router is? Do you have like a really up-to-date router? Even with my Wi-Fi 6 router on Wi-Fi, I never get this much speeds, but we're talking about future-proofing here, where if you do eventually if you have like gigabit internet and eventually upgrade your modem and router and stuff, you will be potentially missing out on higher speeds. But I don't know, man. This is rated up to 3.5 versus 9.6, and real world speeds can go up to 1.7. Do many people have that much faster internet? I would personally, I think I would go for the MSI board. Like, Wi-Fi speeds, if I needed the fastest speeds, I would go wired in, but saving $30 and getting that USB-C front to me is important. So, yeah. Demon Mitt says, also, yeah, that's what I just mentioned earlier. So, I do understand future-proofing. This is a sub $1,000 build, though. You asked if you could save, like, a little bit of money. It looks like we can't find any... What's it called? We can't find any full-size motherboard that... actually, this ASRock one. Let me see. This ASRock one's only $5 more. If you want... more expansion slots. This one, gosh, this picture is so bad. This one doesn't look like it has USB-C though. Oh gosh, it doesn't even have USB-C in the rear. Oh, I think USB-C is kind of important, more important than Wi-Fi 6 anyways. But this one would fill out your build more. Why did they even make B550 at this point in time? When B550s came out, USB-C I feel like was standard enough, like that they should have just had them in the boards. Wow. Manos says, "Can I ask you something?" Okay, here's the thing, guys. You guys should just ask the question instead of asking if you can ask a question, and then me like saying something about it, right? Tons of people are asking questions. I can't respond to everything, but if you ask it, I try to get to all of the things. But yeah, doing this, I guess I just did the opposite of what I should have done. I should not have given this attention, but just ask your question. If I can't help, people in the chat can help. Also, if you go over to the main stream and not the vertical stream, there's more people who can help in the chat over there. He used up his question. Okay, let me wait, is Fall still around? Fall Popo. Where's Fall Popo? This isn't the main stream. No, this is the short stream. If you're watching J-Dub right now, this is a short stream. In the description, or if you click on my channel, let me see if I can show it. Nerd on a budget. I will show you what it looks like. Okay, why is it continue? I know this is a safe website. Okay. So if you go to my streams on live on my channel, there are two of them. The one that has the vertical stream banner on the left is the vertical one. So we'll open both of them. So this is what the normal stream looks like in landscape. And then this is what it looks like in the vertical mode. So no, the other one gets more people watching and the chat's more lit over there. The short stream, the chat isn't as fast. So there's not as many people like talking and answering questions and stuff like that. But yeah. The B365 board I used has USB-C. That B550 is sad, says Shauner. It is sad. Like, why? So, I would still say I would prefer, of the motherboards from the list, if I can find it. Where the heck did it go? That we filtered. Where is it? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I know it's the micro ATX in the full size thing, but like you're looking at $120 boards. Yeah, most of these are micro. The next one is like the Asus stuff for $134. So you're talking about $45 more. Wait, is this a micro? This is also micro. Wait, no, this is... Yeah, this looks like a micro board. It is a B550M. Yeah, so how much more would you guys be willing to pay to fill up the spot below a motherboard, you know, to choose between a micro ATX versus full-size ATX? Could you choose a different case, perhaps, that is micro ATX so it doesn't look as weird? This goes back to the thing I said recently in a video. I wish NZXT came out with an H400 case again. My god, I wish NZXT had a micro ATX case. Like, it's my favorite form factor, but I think NZXT has been doing really good in recent years once they switched over to the, you know, ventilated front panels and people gave them less crap for it. But to not have a micro ATX in their, like, resume, I don't know. They used to have it, but they took that away, like, 7 or so years ago, and they haven't brought it back since. Okay, so can I set my power level, or power limits, not power level, what is this, Dragon Ball? Can you set your power limits, PL1, PL2, for, you have a 12700F, you ran center bench with both power levels, for hours, max temps was 67 degrees C, which is plenty safe, so your cooling's fine. You're worrying if it would degrade the CPU, I mean, off the top of my head, I couldn't answer this. I would have to do a little bit more research. But what I'm thinking is, if you can run a different, while you're running Cinebench or whatever, Prime 95, whatever high-end or high-load program and benchmarking software you want, stability testing, take a look at what, like, the, some of the other, what's it called, like voltage and stuff. If any of that is also messed around with or changes between the different power limits, and then just cross-reference that with what people say is safe on Google. Off the top of my head, and without playing with this myself, I couldn't answer safely. Temperature-wise, seems safe. If you're not crashing, stability-wise, that seems fine. But I think with the whole 13th and 14th gen things happening, with like CPU degradation being on the forefront of people's minds and being more concerned about it, just because something doesn't crash right now or doesn't have high temperatures doesn't necessarily mean long-term it's safe. If you are worried about longevity and degradation, you definitely need to do more research on it. And unfortunately, off the top of my head, I cannot answer this right now because I have not messed with that particular setting and hardware combination. So hopefully that helps. I'm more of shifting you to go to Google and saying, don't just do it without checking more into it. But, alright, I think that was it for FAQs. Build list, let me go back to that. Yeah, wait, did we answer micro ATX? Most micro ATX motherboards that are decent are about 120 or more. Wi-Fi adds to that, yeah. But they were looking at a low-end one already, the Asus Prime one, and, or a more entry tier one that also was missing functions or features and was already $120 for micro ATX. So, with the 5600X, I think you'll be fine, but at that point, I would rather go for the savings and the USB-C. Just grab. Okay, so the thing about the Wi-Fi dongles, and I've used the Wi-Fi dongles. It's kind of hard to. The good ones are actually more expensive. The Wi-Fi dongles, because it is going through USB-C, so you have to make sure you get one that is actually rated for the speeds that they are advertising. A lot of the cheaper $5, $10 ones, I've noticed, versus like a built-in motherboard one, decreases in speeds. Like with the built-in one for my computer, it would be like, I don't know, like 300, 400 megabits per second Wi-Fi. And using the Wi-Fi dongle, it'd be down to like 150 or 200, which I'm not going to complain about that. Wi-Fi speeds 150 to 200 for $5 isn't bad, but it just depends on how reliant you are on higher upload and download speeds, right? The Wi-Fi dongles, they're good alternatives for buying motherboards that don't have Wi-Fi built in and you don't want to put in like an expansion card, and you just, you know, use one of the many USB ports that you have. But yeah. The $5 Wi-Fi dongle would work, but it wouldn't be a Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, definitely not. The newer Wi-Fi standard dongles and expansion cards definitely cost more. But again, how many people need that speed versus, you know, I mean, it'll affect your like downloading games and things like that. But once you're playing, the speeds is not as big of an issue. No way I'm playing competitive games on a $5 Wi-Fi. What's your minimum, Jason? What's the minimum you're spending on a Wi-Fi dongle to play online games? Yeah, $5. I don't think there's... Are there any... I think... I don't know if there's actually any $5 ones. What's the cheapest one? I thought the cheapest was like $7 to $8. Because I buy these all the time. Okay, do we count these ones? No featured offers available? Then why are you showing it to me? Well, let's take a look. Because usually the shipping is like a ridiculous amount. Whoa! Wait up! I did not find these in my searches before. $179 with $1 delivery. You're talking about $279 for, what is this, like Wi-Fi? What were the old Wi-Fi standards? Like N and B or whatever. 100. So this is, so the thing is, this is rated up to 150. It looks like megabits per second. But you know they are never what they're rated for. So you're getting something lower than 150. Does it say what Wi-Fi standard it is? What was 150? Oh, it was okay, Wi-Fi N. Got it. So this is old. Look below. It said it was Wi-Fi 6. Does it say Wi-Fi 6? Or are you talking about a different... This one did not say Wi-Fi 6. But let me see. Wi-Fi 6. I'm not seeing... I'm searching Wi-Fi 6 right now on this page. It was a different listing. Which one says Wi-Fi 6 in here? None of these say Wi-Fi 6. Wireless N. Wireless... BG. Oh gosh, I remember like years ago trying to find routers, and I think I once bought, you know, the previous gen one when N was out. I think I bought like a BG router mistakenly because I didn't like pay attention. But all these cheap ones are Wi-Fi N speeds, it looks like. Why not use PCIe or Ethernet? Yeah, definitely. Ethernet is not always an option for people. So I think a decent amount of people that I've come across, they can't use Wi-Fi because, like, let's say they have their PC in their room and the router is in like the different part of the house because everyone shares it. Especially like I think younger teenagers and people still living at home. If their parents have like the Wi-Fi router closer to the TV or in their own home office or something, you could run a line, but a lot of people don't like running a line like up and down the doorways and the trim of the house and stuff. So Wi-Fi is just like an easier option. So I ran a line. I don't know how many feet it is. It's got to be over 100 feet from my office down here. And that was kind of a pain to do, but now I have really good speeds. Giant Robots uses command hooks like the command strips from 3M to run my 100-foot Ethernet cable in the apartment. What did I use? I used not 3M the brand, but I used some of those adhesive hooks, as well as I ran a lot of it because a decent amount was carpet. I ran it under the baseboard and the carpet. Usually you can tuck quite a bit of stuff in there, because they leave room when they install carpets and like the bottom floor and stuff. So yeah. I just use thumbtacks. Holes in your walls, Jason. I am a person who I hate even the smallest pinholes and nails in the walls. Like I'm a 3D or not a command strip type of person. Yeah, like most of my stuff is put up with command strips or command hooks with larger backings. Yeah, I don't like, even though I'm probably like I'm living here forever now. It's not like I'm gonna move out and the landlord's gonna make me fill in the holes and paint over the holes I made. I think it's because I spent such a large portion of my adult life renting. So that's like once I got to college and lived in either dorm rooms, apartments, afterwards renting, I didn't ever want to deal with landlords or apartment landlords giving me hassle for putting holes in the wall and having to like try to paint or fill it, paint over it, match the paint and stuff. I just didn't want to deal with it. And now even when I own my own home, I try to avoid it. It's just like something that's, you know, engraved in my mind. I use crusty boogers. They hold forever, says N2 Tech. Okay, that's just disgusting. I'm not paying money for command strips back then. F them walls. You just fill it. You just fill the holes. It takes like 5 seconds. It does just take like 5 seconds. No, I agree with you. It's different when you have a painted wall, because when you repaint over it, you know, the wall that has been sitting there, basically fading or whatever, like when you paint 5 years apart or whatever, it definitely sticks out. But again, thumbtacks is not, the holes are so small, you would have to be looking for it. But it's just a weird thing about me. It doesn't make sense. It's not like reasonable, but I just don't like holes. See me drilling 1/2 inch bolts into the studs to mount my TV. Okay, so there are unavoidable situations like with TV mounts. So I did put lag bolts in for our TV because there's no other option. But you can't command strip a TV. You might be able to command strip some of those super thin TVs that they have nowadays, those flexible screens that are like no bezel, as thin as like a Pokemon card or whatever. Some of those TVs, I bet you could command strip them to the wall, but because our TV mount has like an arm that can swing out and stuff like that, like with all that bending moment and stress at the wall, those we had to put lag bolts in. So if there's no other option, I will put holes in the wall. But for like pictures and things like that that are lightweight, that command strips can do, I'll do that. But yeah. Elijah from LTT showing up to Nove's house. You talking about like the cable management things that they've been doing for people, or are you talking about something else? Oh, someone posted in the Discord server, which if you guys didn't know, the Discord server does have a stream submissions as well as a builds and setup showcase which we do look at on the stream. I think, yeah, we looked at these in the previous week. So I think we are caught up on these, but I like it when people submit it to the build and setup showcase, because these people can look at this and see them anytime. Like, you can scroll down, there's a bunch of people's builds and setups, so it's easier to access. When you put it into the stream submissions, as we get more like different submissions and stuff, it gets lost in the ether. But because I looked at this now, we can take a look. So Mo posted their setup. Oh gosh, I gotta zoom out. So we got Kleenex. Is this command strip to the wall? This Kleenex box. It is somehow being attached to the wall. Before and after, let me know. Okay. So we've got their PC. What tower is this? This looks like some kind of pre-built OEM office tower. I don't recognize this. It's an Acer Nitro N50. Okay, I was about to say, it doesn't look like a Dell with that protruding I/O in the front, even with the panel off. Wow. Did you take the front off because there's like no intake or like ventilation? It looks like there's this hole for like the CD drive, and then just like solid panel. Interesting. But all right, you said before and after. So afterwards, you got the... Okay, I wish you would have taken it at the same angle, because it does look different from like an isometric angle. But we got rid of the tissue on the wall. We kept the monitor arm and mic stand. The build upgraded. Nice. You've got a deep cool case. And it looks like... What is this? It looks like you did upgrade to... You upgraded graphics cards and your whole PC got updated. And you're on a dual monitor now. And you've got these cool, like, ambient light strips. What are they? The gummy ones on the back wall. Nice. I am a fan of this lower monitor, upper monitor setup. I run a triple monitor setup like this. I've shown it on the stream before, but yeah, I like it. And it looks like you are like in the corner next. Is this like the bed, like the backboard for your bed or whatever it's called? But so it looks like you might be confined in space, but I mean, you fit everything that you need there. So nice. Okay, wait, did someone else? Oh, let's look at this Wi-Fi dongle that they were saying. Wait, was that... What is this one? Why did we post this one? Is this supposed to be the Wi-Fi 6 one? It doesn't say it in the title, but... Shipped in 2 weeks, but... Is this like... This is like the equivalent of what buying someone on Temu. Oh, the one I bought. Gotcha, in the suggested. Okay. Let me go back to that, because I'm actually very curious to see. So if you click any of these random ones... So you're saying go down... What page was that? Are you on your phone? Yeah, this looks like mobile. Because I'm not getting the same suggestions. Here, I'm just going to put Wi-Fi 6 dongle. I want to see these sub $5 Wi-Fi 6 dongles. Low to high. Yeah, see, when I didn't even change, like, my listing preferences. Those options aren't even popping up for me. How do I get all to pop up? Because... I do want to see those ones, but they're giving me Prime options, which these aren't even Wi-Fi 6, but they start at like $5. There, yeah, Amazon. Why are you being weird? How about this one? Yeah, where's the suggestions to the other cheap Wi-Fi 6 dongles? Maybe... Okay, let me look at that. There it is! We found it! Ah, Thank you for putting the name in here. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So this is, let me look at the store. So this store, 51 ratings in the last 12 months. Usually with items like this, if you look at pretty much every other Wi-Fi, at least Prime ones, like, it's funny. Most people think Amazon reviews are useless. And I think that too. Amazon reviews, for the most part, I think is useless. Because so many people either get things for free if they leave a good review, or they buy it and just for the item showing up, they leave a good review. But what does that say when a company or a product actually gets low reviews on Amazon? Like, we already write off good reviews as meaningless, but to get bad reviews, I think that's saying something. But either way, so Storefront doesn't have that great reviews. This has one review, so one person has bought and reviewed it, I think. Let's take a look. Because it is free shipping. I'm gonna buy this, I think, just to see. I'm curious. What does this review say? Did they even leave a review, or some people just review one? Oh, they didn't even review it. They just left a rating of 1 star, and they didn't leave a written review, so we don't know what's wrong with it. But apparently, it is, you know, an AX Wi-Fi adapter. I'm buying this thing. It's gonna take October 16th to 30th. Bruh, am I about to just let some Chinese company get all my information? Is that what's going on? Like, they're gonna get... Does Amazon give phone number? Let me see. Like, what do they get when they get my order details? They get my address. Am I gonna have to ship this thing to my PO box and use like my digital number and not my actual cell phone? Get by the end of October, lol. I'm not against ordering from China either, because everything we buy, not everything, but a lot of the stuff we buy are from that side of the world already. And then people just mark up the prices, buy it in bulk, and resell it on Amazon so we can get it to 2 or 3 day Prime shipping. So I'm not against buying from China. This, though, seems a little scammy. What do you guys think? Anyone's scam radar going off here? Wi-Fi 6 apparently adapter for $238 plus shipping. Like, I don't know. Do I want this company to get my information? Legend School says, nah, I think it's totally legit. Pretty sure you can get a better one from AliExpress. You think so? Wi-Fi 6 one? USB dongle? Let me see. Let's see. Wi-Fi 6. We might have to play around with the search terms. To see what's the cheapest one. Wi-Fi 6 plus 226 shipping. Oh, is this the exact same one actually? Let me look at the pictures that they used. All right. Oh my God, it is the exact same one. It is. So yeah, this is like an AliExpress. I mean, it is sold from. The name seems Wang Fei. This seems pretty Chinese to me. But looking at the image, driver free 286 megabit per second Wi-Fi 6. Driver free 286 megabit per second Wi-Fi 6. Let me check on my AliExpress account though. This might be an intro deal. Well, normally it's only 158. Okay, I'm gonna buy this from AliExpress because I agree with Jason. I am less sketched out about AliExpress, especially since I can use my PayPal account to pay for this, I believe. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Keep my information anonymous and not deal with potentially, you know, my information being sold. Even if it remotely works, it's worth $3. Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting. Oh, you're right, Jason. You're right. The Wi-Fi 6 actual one though. Let me see. 300. Wait up. Yeah. So 300. Why are they only rating it as such a low? Because Wi-Fi 6 standards is definitely higher from what we just saw. Interesting. Yeah. So it's not as cheap, but it still comes out to be less than $4. So I mean, can't complain about that. Let me put this into my main window with my payment information so that I can see it. But yeah. Also, you got to consider, I wonder if so they do have Wi-Fi cards that have like single or dual antennas. They actually, let's look at some of the crazy Wi-Fi antenna USB cards. What the heck did I just type in? Okay, so like probably with regards to the signal strength and the speeds, getting one with the antenna would be better. I'm trying to see what the craziest ones. Look at this one. This one has a cable, so it doesn't just stick out the back of your computer, and you can place this wherever you want on your table or on top of your PC. And it's got 4 antennas, but this one costs $40. No way. Like, I'm okay with slower speeds for like a sub $10 card. I don't know if I need like, and this is through USB 3 as well. Like, how fast can you realistically get through USB 3 speeds? So yeah, but this one is like the smallest dongle with regards to how much hardware they could actually fit in here to like receive the signal, right? So perfect antenna for paper football. Yes, also N2 Tech brings up a good point. Are these ones Bluetooth as well, or is it just Wi-Fi? Because you might as well, like, I actually use Bluetooth with my PC quite a bit. Do you guys out there? I use it mainly for my Xbox controller. It has Wi-Fi, and sometimes I have like mice that are also, they're both like dongle 2.4 as well as Bluetooth, and I just prefer the Bluetooth for the simplicity. You don't have to have a dongle, and then it's wireless. So yeah, it looks like these ones are not dual Bluetooth Wi-Fi though, just Wi-Fi, which again, I'm not complaining for $4. Let me re-chat for a bit because I've been looking at this stuff for a while, and we are over 2 hours in the stream, so we do have to wind down now. I will look at the stream submissions. I think some people posted more, but I do have to get going in the next 10 or so minutes. Let's see. Desired spec. All right, I'm gonna clock out our stream, but do you happen to rate the set? Oh, rate the setup that you posted. Let me see. Wow, you posted a lot of pictures. So your setup, I see that from your Acer Nitro, you did reuse the motherboard. So in your build, I see that OEM motherboard back there now. Okay, yes, this angle shows it a lot better. For the setup, what do I rate it? If we're talking about like epic setups, like let me pull up an example. Epic PC setup, right? What would I give a 10? I don't know. It would probably have to be a lot to give me a 10, but let's just say if something like this was like, oh, this is a video. Oh, this is pretty nice. I'm not sure who this creator is, but like this setup, right? Very nice. I probably wouldn't ever give out 10s because you have to reserve 10s for that setup you've never seen that might be better than anything you've ever saw, right? But for nice setups like this, where I would give a 9, for something like this, due to being a little bit constricted on space, it is a clean setup though. You like, so there's, yeah, assuming the build's not a part of like the setup, because I don't want to get into rating the hardware and things like that. So here's the whole area. You're against the window. You've got these pretty cool looking ambient what's it called, RGB strips. Overall, I would give this, like, there's nothing crazy, and that's the before. there's not a ton of lighting, so I can see the cable management and stuff. But I mean, I'd give this like a solid 7. It's pretty. There's not a ton of stuff going on wrong with it. There's not like a lot of clutter. It looks relatively clean from the lighting I can see. But it's also pretty. It's a simpler setup. It doesn't have like a bunch of stuff going on. Like this person has more monitors in their setup. They do show more of it with the dual PC setup actually. Huh. So they must be streaming or dual PC setups. I don't see that too often for one person unless they're streaming. I don't know video editing if many people run dual, like complete separate system setups, but yeah. Yeah, I'd give this like a 7, maybe a 7.5, but it's more of a simple setup. And then some people posted their PCs. Is this power supply? Okay, so Quack, if you're in the chat right now, I don't know which stream chat you might be in. So there's nothing inherently wrong with putting your PC on the floor. When you have carpet, especially like you can kind of see a little bit of the case is sinking into the carpet a little bit, right? The PC's, you know, not the lightest thing in the world. It probably weighs 20, 30 pounds, something like that. It does look like the power supply is in the basement because I'm looking up here. It's not a top power supply mount. It's not a dual chamber case from what I can see. It looks like we're dealing with the power supply basement. I see like, you know, the separation chamber here. That power supply is only being fed air through the bottom here. With how much the PC is sinking into the carpet and not much clearance to begin with, you might be limiting the air to your power supply, which long term could make it die faster. Let's see. Aside from that, pretty nice looking build. It is. What is this? This is CyberPower, I believe. I always get CyberPower and iPower confused, but yeah, this looks fine. I would put either a hard surface underneath it so that the PC doesn't sink into the carpet and choke off the airflow, or just like, yeah, putting it on like a hard piece of like wood or something is the equivalent to putting it on your desk, because there would be no sinking in, and your feet will be fully lifting it off. What part list are we talking about here? Legends. Are you Mighty Walrus, or do you have a different part list? See, you guys. Oh, Legends, cool. You are up here. Okay. What is this part list? Is this your own personal build, or is this something you want to build, or is this something you just build for fun? Like, it is up. Yes, this is your own personal build. That you already have and you already paid for and stuff like that, right? So you just wanna, are you looking for advice? What are we looking at? Current build, YouTube username. I know GPU is expensive, but it looks so nice. Did you recently build this? Yeah, so you're running a 12400F 7800 XT system, which I think that pairing is fine. It looks like you put in custom prices for what you paid. So this is basically around $1,000 system with the 7800 XT, which is pretty much as good as you're gonna get in that like $1,000-ish system. But you're running the popular Thermalright Assassin, which is good. Pretty budget DS3H board from Gigabyte, which is fine. 32 gigs of 3200 CL16, which is also fine for $50. That's actually a pretty good price for 32 gigs of memory. Let's see. You got some SSDs in here. You got the Bit Phoenix. I think I mentioned this before, but $60. Bit Phoenix. I like their cases. I don't build in them often. I built in their cases in the past. They also had the Bit Phoenix. What case? The Prodigy. This case, I wish they would remake. They did remake it once, but still, it felt like an old case. Unlike Bit Phoenix cases, it's just there's so many case options around now that I feel like Bitfinex kind of fell. Like, I remember they kind of came, like, they were on the come up back in around 15, 16, 17 time frame. They were releasing a lot of stuff, and then they kind of went quiet for a while, not having a bunch of innovation. But I mean, cool to see you still using this. There's nothing wrong with this case, right? It's a standard case, single chamber, got mesh fronts, comes with RGB fans, has a power supply basement. So there's nothing inherently wrong with them. Really good price, but there's so much competition nowadays that I feel like Bitfinex got kind of pushed to the wayside for some of the other, like Fractal Pop Minis, Montech cases, stuff like that. But I mean, you're using a budget case in your $1,000 build, which afforded you to, you know, pump more money into the GPU. So I like that a lot. You got a good price on your Supernova 750 watt Supernova 750 GT, and you got a bunch of these cheap Sama case fans to put in it. So yeah, this build is very solid for 1,100 bucks with the 7800 XT in it and plenty of other extras. I like it. It barely fits my GPU. You have like 5 millimeters of room to spare. I could imagine that case looks pretty small. I got that PSU. Rip B stock. I know, right? Rip B stock indeed. Desire Spec says, man, it's empty, but I do understand. I will re-rack the tissue box back up because it's a legend of the stream now. If you do remount the tissue box, can you get an actual, because it looks like you just mounted a paper or cardboard tissue box. Maybe get one where, of those plastic ones, where you could like refill it with the cardboard one. You know what I'm talking about? Like this one is like an individual thing that will deteriorate or like just, you know, fall apart over time because it's a single use thing. But maybe if you got like a plastic shell so that you could refill it infinitely, it might make it look better. I like this because it looks a little jank and like budget. But if you want longevity, maybe put like one of the plastic boxes up. But let's see. No tissue recommendations, whatever the Kirkland signature brand is. I don't use tissues that often. Usually I'm like lazy and I just go to like the bathroom and grab, because like toilet paper tissue is like pretty much the same like consistency. It's not like a paper towel or like paper napkins from like McDonald's or something, right? Toilet paper tissue is very similar consistency to Kleenex. But we just grab, my wife has allergies, so we go through so much tissue, Kleenex or nose blowing tissue. So we always get the Kirkland like 8-pack or whatever box, and we go through them so fast. But yeah. Hey, mine is under Legends is cool. What is under your setup or what? Legends is cool. Which one are you talking about here? Mighty Walrus. Wait, where's Mighty Walrus in here? Yeah, if your names aren't the same. Okay, Mighty Walrus. Need help to get to a budget of $12.50. Okay, yeah, we can take a look at this. What is it? This one? Let me make sure I'm opening the right one. Okay, what is this? PC part picker. You need a $12.50 and you need to reduce the price. So you need to take out about $100 in here. We just talked about the AliExpress 5700 X3D. Plus, you're gonna buy a cooler for it anyways. 5700 X3D. All right, what's the cheapest one we can find here? 135. So 135 plus tax is about oh god, that's even, let's see, 135, 10, so 140 something. You would not only saving a decent amount on the chip itself, but a little bit on tax as well. A few dollars. So that right there, because you don't, wait, do the 5700 X3Ds even come with the cooler in them? Let me see. Where's the information? Cooler not included. This one, yeah, this doesn't even come with the cooler. So I guess you get a warranty, but I don't know, man. I am pretty confident in the CPUs from AliExpress. I would totally, if you're not even getting the cooler, not that many people use the cooler anyways, but you're talking from your list, 188 versus 135 from AliExpress. Both come with no coolers. This is a tray processor, which I think is fine. That's $50 saved right there. Yo, what up, Split Tech? It is going well. We are actually at the tail end of the stream. I'm trying to finish some stuff up, and then we will be done. But I'm looking at this part list right now. So yeah, you can save $50 easily. So we just need to save another $50 to get you down to that 1250 target, right? Let's see. B550 Aorus Elite. Does this even have Wi-Fi? Okay, it does. I mean, this is a higher end motherboard. I would have to look into how much better like this Aorus Elite board is versus like the MSI board that we looked at. But that saves that would save like, and I don't know if you need Wi-Fi 6 or not, so that could save like 20-30 bucks. We're looking at 16 gigs. Dude, you're spending over 1250. You don't put 16 gigabytes of RAM into that. The games and if you're gonna use it for other things aside from gaming, 16 gigs is gonna be like your limit. You reserve 16 gigabytes for like if you only have $400 or $500. Once you pass, I don't know, $800-900, 32 gigs is well worth the upgrade in my opinion. But that's fine. So we've saved $50 on buying the 5700 X3D on AliExpress. But some of that, like $30 of that, needs to be thrown into getting 32 gigs of memory. So we gotta save some more money. You picked a kind of expensive, higher end SSD. I don't know if you fully need that. You should be able to find 2 terabyte drives for, let me see, 2 terabyte. The SSD pricing has gone to crap recently. What the heck just happened? 2 terabyte NVMe. Capacity. So you want 2 terabytes. Yeah, I guess how much yours was like 150. Yeah, yours is 150. You could save like $30. And if you want Gen 4, there are some that are like in the $100 price range. They are going to be the more entry-level ones, but like the MP33, MP33 Pro is also under 100. The MP600 2 terabyte. It's, I mean, are you trying to save money or are you trying to get the, you know, the top tier, not top tier, but like more features in your SSD, like either DRAM or like a larger SLC cache and things like that. But what else do we got here? So I mean, you've got a 7900 XT in here. I'm not going to advise to buy a used expensive graphics card when it's not going to be that much cheaper in the used market, I think. So you could save like $50 buying it used, but some people aren't comfortable with you know, buying a used part and investing that much money in it. Like, to them, it's worth spending an extra $50 to buy brand new to get warranty and all that stuff. Be a first-time owner. You did choose a cheap, not a cheap, I should say an inexpensive case. So you are saving money here. You've got an 850 watt Cooler Master. This is like a B or A tier power supply. So for 94 bucks, 850 watt, you can't complain there. Maybe you can save 10-15 bucks going down to like 750 watts, which should still be able to run the 7900 XT, but you won't afford yourself too much room. So I mean, aside from the 5700 X3D, which is an easy money saver here, it's not like you made super bad choices. It's just you want a pretty expensive graphics card that is eating up quite literally half of your budget. Off $1,300, $660 is half the budget. So you can only cut corners so much in other areas, when the majority of it is like saying you could easily get there buying a 7900 GRE. Or buying a used motherboard. If you can find a used B550 motherboard, because this is AM4, or a different motherboard, you should be able to buy a used AM4 motherboard for, you know, 70 to 80 bucks. That shaves off 40 bucks there. And then if you are willing to get the MP33 and like the lower end $100 2TB drives are fine. But like, what is worth it more to you? If you had to give up your 7900 XT to get a lower end card, or getting this P41 Platinum versus like an MP33 Pro or like an MP600 from Corsair, and lower the price by 50 bucks. I can't make that decision for you, but you know, that's up to you. Deal Hunter Showcase when? Oh my god, that is a throwback. Deal Hunter Showcase, that was a short-lived series. What we had, like, we can look it up. Deal Hunter Showcase. Let's see if there's any other thing that pops up on YouTube search. Here we go. So this, 6 years ago, how far did we even get in this series? I think we did like 5 or 6 episodes. And this was back when? This was back in 2018. So we're coming up, we've passed 6 years, coming up on 7 years. And people, a lot of followers now probably don't even know about what this was. I think this was before I even hit 100,000 subs. So yeah, the series never took off, which is why I stopped it. And another issue with it is that people could easily lie. Like, anyone could submit something with doctored images and just lie about the good deals that they got. So, like, it's hard to tell what a true deal people got was versus someone just wanting to say, like, oh, I got a RTX 3080 for 10 bucks and here's, you know, the offer-up listing that you could easily doctor. So, unfortunately, yeah, I don't know. It never took off. I don't know if I would ever bring this series back. But that is a throwback for sure. So I do have to stop the deal, or the PC part picker list. Here's the thing though, guys. The Discord server is up, so if you want advice from other people, you can ask in the PC advice channel or whatever. But also, we do this every single week. Like, there's always portions of the stream where I'm done talking about whatever main topic I want to talk about, and we look at people's setup, or we look at their PC part picker lists. So if you guys come back next week or any of the following weeks and drop your links in the stream submission channels of the Discord, I can get to it. But it looks like the stream submission channel is popping off more than usual. But if you guys get in, what I try to do is prioritize, and again, like earlier, I try to prioritize the order at which people post things. So if you get on the day of when stream starts, I will look at, so, you know, 5 p.m. Wednesday next week, I will look at posts that are submitted from that point and on. So So don't try to submit it like right now or like a day early and stuff, because I want to prioritize people who are at the stream watching. I don't want to get like a parts list of someone. I think Homicides eventually came back, but they were like away making food when I was gonna look at their list. So yeah, if you guys want advice on PC Perfect list, definitely check out the streams, or you can submit it to like tech support, tech talk, or parts and build advice. There's always people in here. Look, you know, if you post something, they can help you out. Sometimes I'm in there, I help people out as well. But yeah, I have to stop basically right now and end stream. So hey, can you please look at my list? I'm not Mighty Walrus. I can repost if you want. We're unfortunately out of time, M. And yeah, sorry about that. I do see that your name on Discord is the same as the chat. It's just there was so many submissions and so many people, and some people didn't have the same name, but it looks like everyone I looked at eventually the name was the same. But yeah, what helps is if you post when stream starts 5 p.m. on Wednesday, as well as have the exact same name on YouTube as your stream, then I can find it easier. And unfortunately, I think even though your name was the same, I missed it. So yeah. Yeah, I think I got confused and thought you were Mighty Walrus because of the M names. Pain and suffering for real. Sorry about that. Yeah. But if you're here next week, we can look at it as well. I'm always down to look through people's setups, builds, and their parts list. So, what do we got here? N2 Tech. Did we ever solve the foot problem? Haven't heard anything for a while. I addressed it earlier on the stream. But, foot is probably at like 50% strength, but I can walk on it. And I'm doing some like ultrasound wave technology treatment on it every single night. I talked about it last stream as well, but I mean, there's nothing else the doctors can do. This is like the final attempt at healing my foot faster. Robert Fix It. By the way, shout out to helping that kid with his PC. Yeah, Logan. That if you guys didn't see the video, the latest video helping Logan. Logan is in the Discord channel, and the he was in chat earlier too. But yeah, the funny thing is that actually happened back in June, but because of my foot issue, just my whole upload schedule got messed up, and I didn't even get around to being able to edit it until, you know, the end of September. So I actually helped Logan out 3 months ago and couldn't edit and finish the footage and stuff like that until recently. But yeah, apparently, you know, he's using the computer now at Job Corps just fine, so that's good. When's the next OfferUp meetup vid? It's actually this weekend. The next video, the next video, I have the parts sitting there in the background. Yeah, it'll be a decently fun one. This one's a new experience, I should say. So yeah, that's coming up next. Alright, that's gonna be it for me, y'all. Thank you for another successful and fun stream. Y'all keeping chat like on fire makes it really easy for me to do my job here, to always be talking about something or being able to look something up. Unfortunately, the downside of that is there's so much, like, people want me to look at their different setups, their build lists. Like, we go all over the place. So I am only one person that could only get to X amount of things. But we do this every single week, so if I didn't get you this week, hopefully you can get in early next week. Again, if you join the Discord server, I'm not even trying to like get you guys to join the Discord server to like grow this thing into anything crazy. It just makes it really easy to organize when people submit things to look at. And it was my bad today for missing people who were indeed in chat and submitted earlier. So I'll try to be better about that. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening or day, wherever you are in the world. Have a great rest of the week and have a great weekend coming up. And yeah, I will see you either in the Discord server or in the comments in the, you know, latest YouTube shorts or long form video that I release. But y'all have a good one. Take it easy, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.